Have you ever stopped to truly consider the most powerful tool you possess? It isn't found in your wallet, nor is it a gadget you can hold in your hand. It is, in fact, something you use every single day, often without a second thought. I'm talking about words. Words are the invisible architects of our reality. They build bridges between minds, construct empires of thought, and can, with the right touch, gently reshape the world around you. Most of us wield this incredible power clumsily, like a child swinging a hammer. But with a little understanding, a little practice, you can learn to use them with the precision of a master craftsman, building connections, inspiring action, and creating the outcomes you desire. This isn't about manipulation in the way you might think. It's not about trickery for selfish gain. Instead, it is about understanding the beautiful, intricate machinery of the human mind and learning to communicate in a way that truly connects. It's about making your interactions more meaningful, your relationships stronger, and your professional life more successful. Think of it as learning the secret language that everyone understands, but few people know how to speak. It's the language of influence, of rapport, of shared experience. And once you begin to see the patterns, you'll notice them everywhere. From the way a great salesperson makes you feel understood to how a dear friend can lift your spirits with just a few well-chosen sentences. Imagine for a moment that every conversation is a small performance, a piece of theater played out between two or more people. Each performance has a structure, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Most of us simply stumble onto the stage and say our lines without any thought to the script or the audience. We are accidental actors in our own lives. But what if you could become the director? What if you could understand the script so well that you could guide the scene to a more positive, more productive, and more satisfying conclusion for everyone involved? This is entirely possible. It simply requires you to pay attention to the magic you've been ignoring your entire life. In this little exploration, we will pull back the curtain on this magic. We will dissect the anatomy of a truly persuasive interaction. I will show you how to capture attention, how to build a powerful emotional connection, and how to guide the conversation towards a specific positive goal. We won't be dealing in abstract theories. We will be looking at practical, real-world techniques that you can start using today. Whether you wish to make a new friend, ask your boss for a well-deserved raise, or simply become a person that others feel genuinely good to be around. So, let's begin our journey into the fascinating world of words. Let's unlock the magic. Every magic trick, every great story begins with what magicians call the pledge. This is the moment the performer shows you something ordinary. A deck of cards, a simple coin, a person from the audience. Its purpose is to draw you in, to make you lean forward, to capture your undivided attention. In communication, this is the most crucial first step. If you don't have someone's attention, your words are just noise, fading into the background hum of life. You must give them a reason to stop what they are doing and focus entirely on you and what you are about to say. This is where you make them curious. How do you do this? You can start with a question that sparks their imagination. Instead of saying, "Let me tell you about this new coffee," you might ask, "Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to start your day with a perfect, crystal clear moment of focus?" Notice the difference. The first is a statement to be passively received. The second is an invitation to look inside their own mind. It's personal. It's intriguing. You are no longer just a speaker. You are a guide, promising to take them somewhere interesting. You are pledging that what comes next will be worth their time, and their brain, hungry for answers, will instinctively pay attention. Another powerful way to pledge for attention is to say something slightly unexpected, something that breaks the normal pattern of conversation. We are creatures of habit, and our brains are wired to notice anything that deviates from the norm. If you're in a sales meeting, instead of starting with "Thank you for your time," you could begin with, "Before we start, I want you to forget everything you think you know about marketing." It's a bold statement. It's a challenge. It immediately signals that this won't be the same old boring presentation they've sat through 100 times before. You have disrupted their expectations, and in doing so, you have seized their focus completely. Remember, the goal of the pledge is simply to open a door in the listener's mind. You are not trying to convince them of anything yet. You are not trying to sell them a product or an idea. You are simply asking for a moment of their time and promising them that it will be valuable. Think of it like a movie trailer. It doesn't give away the whole plot. It just shows you the most exciting, intriguing snippets to ensure you buy a ticket for the full show. Master this first step. and you will find that people are not only willing to listen, but are eager to hear what you have to say next. Once you have their attention, you move into the second act, the turn. This is where the magician takes the ordinary object from the pledge and does something extraordinary with it. The coin vanishes, the card changes, the person levitates. In conversation, the turn is where you take that initial spark of attention and you build it into a fire of emotional involvement. This is where you move beyond simple facts and figures and begin to paint a picture in their mind. People rarely make decisions based on pure logic. We are emotional creatures, and we are moved by feelings, not spreadsheets. Your job is to make them feel something. This is achieved by using language that is both vivid and, paradoxically, a little vague. Vivid language engages the senses. You don't just say a car is fast. You describe the deep, satisfying roar of the engine as you press the pedal and the feeling of being gently but firmly pushed back into the plush leather seat. You are creating a sensory experience. The vagueness comes in by allowing them to fill in the blanks with their own experiences. When you say, imagine a time you felt completely relaxed and at peace, you aren't defining it for them. You are handing them the paintbrush and letting them create their own perfect image of relaxation, making the feeling far more personal and powerful. Storytelling is your most powerful tool in this stage. Our brains are wired for narrative. A good story bypasses the critical, analytical part of the mind and speaks directly to our emotions. When you want to convey the importance of teamwork, don't just list its benefits. Tell a story about a time a group of people, against all odds, came together to achieve something incredible. Let the listener feel the struggle, the camaraderie, and the eventual triumph. They won't just understand the concept of teamwork, they will feel its power. You are turning an abstract idea into a living, breathing experience inside their head. This is also the stage where you build rapport, that magical sense of connection and trust. You can do this through empathy, genuinely trying to understand and validate their feelings. You can also use a technique called mirroring, where you subtly reflect their body language or tone of voice. This isn't about mimicry. It's about creating a subconscious signal that says, I am like you. We are on the same wavelength. When people feel seen, heard, and understood on this deep level, their emotional walls come down. They become open, receptive, and ready to follow you into the final act. We now arrive at the grand finale, the prestige. This is the payoff, the moment of impact. The magician brings the vanished coin back, but it's now in an impossible location. The audience gasps. The effect is complete. In our conversations, the prestige is the point where you bring everything together to achieve your goal. You have their attention. You've built an emotional connection. Now you guide them towards a decision or an action. This must be done with confidence and clarity. Any hesitation now will undo all the good work you've done. You have led them on a journey, and this is the destination. The key here is to make the desired outcome feel like the natural, logical, and emotionally satisfying conclusion to the journey you've taken them on. It shouldn't feel like a demand. It should feel like an inevitable next step. For example, after painting a vivid picture of the peace of mind that comes with being financially secure, asking them to sign up for a savings plan doesn't feel like a sales pitch. It feels like the solution they've been searching for. You are not pushing them. You are simply opening the door that you have led them to, a door they now genuinely want to walk through. One powerful technique at this stage is the use of presuppositions. You frame your language as if they have already agreed. Instead of asking, "Do you want to sign up?" which invites a yes or no answer, you might ask, "So shall we set this up to start on the 1st of the month? Or would the 15th be better for you?" This is a classic false choice. Both options presume they are moving forward. Their mind focuses on the minor detail of the date, not the major decision of whether to sign up at all. It gently guides them past the point of hesitation by assuming the decision is already made. Ultimately, the prestige is about empowering the other person. You want them to feel good about the decision they are making. It should feel like their idea, their choice. This is achieved through confident, positive language. Use phrases like, "You're going to love how this simplifies your life," or "I'm really excited for you to experience this." Your confidence is contagious. When you genuinely believe that you are offering them something of value, something that will improve their life, they will feel it. And that feeling of shared positive belief is the final magical touch that turns a simple conversation into a truly persuasive experience. Before you can even begin to think about the pledge, you must do some vital reconnaissance. The most persuasive people in the world are not the best talkers. They are the best listeners and observers. Their secret is that they take the time to understand the world of the person they are speaking to. What does that person want? What do they fear? What are their hopes, their dreams, their daily frustrations? You cannot connect with someone if you are broadcasting from your own world without any thought for theirs. You must tune into their frequency first. This is the foundation upon which all influence is built. Think of yourself as a detective. When you meet someone new, your first job is to gather clues. Ask open-ended questions that encourage them to talk about themselves. For example, what's the most exciting part of your work? Is far more revealing than do you like your job? Listen not just to what they say, but how they say it. Notice the words they use repeatedly. These are often signposts to their core values. If someone constantly talks about security or safety, you know that these are deep-seated needs. If they talk about freedom and adventure, you have discovered a completely different map to their mind. This process is about genuine curiosity, not interrogation. People love to talk about themselves, but only if they feel you are truly interested. Put your own agenda aside for a moment. Forget what you want to say, and focus completely on them. Make eye contact, nod, offer verbal affirmations like, "That's fascinating," or "I can see why you'd feel that way." You are building a bridge of empathy. You are sending a powerful, non-verbal message that says, "I see you, I hear you, you matter." When someone feels that from you, they instinctively begin to trust you, making them far more receptive to your ideas later on. Once you have a sense of their world, you can tailor your language to fit it. You can reflect their values back to them. If you're talking to the person who values security, you'll frame your proposal around its safety and reliability. For the person who values freedom, you'll highlight how your idea offers them more choice and independence. You are not changing your message, but you are translating it into their native language. This is the ultimate form of respect in communication, and it is the secret blueprint for creating a powerful and lasting connection. Humans have been telling stories since we first gathered around a fire. It really is our oldest and most effective method of transferring information, values, and emotions. You know, a list of facts might be forgotten in minutes, but a good story can stay with someone for a lifetime. When you want to influence someone, don't just present an argument. Tell a story. A story is a Trojan horse for an idea. It sneaks past the guarded walls of the logical mind and delivers its message directly to the heart, where true decisions are made. This is the storyteller's gambit, and honestly, it is one of the most potent tools in your arsenal. A powerful story doesn't have to be a grand epic. It can be a simple, relatable anecdote. Let's say you want to convince a colleague to try a new approach to a project. You could list all the logical reasons why the new way is better. Or you could tell them a short story. I remember working on a project just like this a few years ago. We were hitting the same walls you are. Everyone was frustrated. Then, one person suggested we try something a bit different. And at first, no one was sure. But we gave it a shot, and it was incredible how it unlocked everything. This story creates a mental movie, allowing your colleague to see the possibility of success rather than just hearing about it. The most effective stories often contain what we call embedded commands. These are positive action statements cleverly woven into the narrative. As you tell your story, you might say something like, "And as we worked through it, we began to feel really confident about the new direction. It just made sense to get started right away." The listener's subconscious mind picks up on these command phrases. Feel really confident, get started right away, without the conscious mind resisting them as a direct order. You are planting seeds of suggestion in the fertile ground of their imagination, making the desired action feel like their own natural impulse. Practice finding stories in your everyday life. Every challenge you've overcome, every interesting person you've met, every small success is a potential story. Think about the message you want to convey, be it resilience, innovation, or trust, and find a personal story that illustrates it. When you speak, use sensory details. What did it look like? What did it sound like? How did it feel? By doing this, you transport your listener out of their chair and into your world. You make them a participant in the story, not just an observer. And when they return, they bring the feeling and the lesson of the story back with them. Now we delve into some slightly more advanced, yet wonderfully simple techniques for guiding a person's state of mind. The first is called anchoring. An anchor is a specific stimulus, a word, a gesture, a touch, that you intentionally link to a specific emotional state. Think of how hearing a certain song can instantly transport you back to a summer holiday from your youth, bringing all the happy feelings with it. The song is an anchor for that feeling. You can create these anchors deliberately in your conversations to help people access positive emotions on command. It's a beautifully subtle way to make your interactions more pleasant and productive. Here's how it works. When you're talking with someone and they naturally start to describe a time they felt incredibly happy, successful, or confident, pay close attention. As they reach the peak of that feeling, you can create an anchor. You might use a specific, slightly unusual word like brilliant, or make a small, unique gesture like touching your chin. If you do this consistently whenever they express that positive emotion, their brain will create a link. Later in the conversation, if you want to bring that good feeling back, you simply fire the anchor. Say the word brilliant or touch your chin, and their mind will subconsciously retrieve the associated positive state. Another elegant way to guide the mind is by offering what we've touched on before, the false choice. The human mind finds it easier to choose between two options than to make a yes or no decision from scratch. By framing your request as a choice between two positive outcomes, you gently steer them toward your goal. A waiter doesn't ask, "Do you want dessert?" They ask, "Can I tempt you with our rich chocolate lava cake or the refreshing lemon tart this evening?" Your focus immediately shifts to which dessert you'd prefer, not whether you want one at all. It's a simple, low-pressure way of making the yes much easier. You can apply this everywhere. When trying to arrange a meeting, don't ask, "Are you free to meet next week?" This invites a simple no. Instead ask, "Would Tuesday afternoon or Thursday morning be better for you?" When encouraging a child to do their homework, avoid, "Will you do your homework now?" Try, "Do you want to start with your maths homework or your history reading?" You are giving them a sense of control and autonomy within a framework that you have already defined. It is a respectful and remarkably effective way to guide behavior without creating resistance or conflict. To truly influence, you must first connect. Two of the most powerful ways to build this deep, almost magical sense of rapport are through the techniques of mirroring and what I like to call safe mind reading. Mirroring, as we've noted, is the subtle reflection of another person's behavior. This goes beyond just body language. It can be about matching their tempo of speech. If they speak slowly and deliberately, you slow down your own pace. If they are fast and energetic, you inject more energy into your own voice. It creates a subconscious feeling of harmony, a sense that you are in sync with one another. This must be done with subtlety and respect. If you blatantly copy someone's every move, you will look ridiculous and, honestly, a bit creepy. The key is to be selective. If they lean forward when making an important point, you might lean forward a few moments later when you make yours. If they use a particular turn of phrase, you might incorporate it naturally into your own speech later in the conversation. These small echoes create a powerful feedback loop of familiarity and comfort. You are, on a very primitive level, telling their brain, "I am one of you. I am part of your tribe. You are safe with me." Safe mind reading sounds mysterious, but it's really about making educated, high-probability guesses about another person's feelings or thoughts based on what you observe. It shows you are paying attention at a profound level. You might say something like, "You've been working on this all week, so you're probably looking forward to a relaxing weekend." Or, "I get the sense that you're someone who really values honesty." These are not wild psychic predictions. They are safe bets based on common human experience. But when you get it right, it feels like you have an uncanny insight into their world. The purpose of this is to make the other person feel deeply understood. When you voice a thought they were having or a feeling they were experiencing, you validate their reality. It creates a moment of pure connection. Use phrases like, "I'm guessing you might be feeling," or "I imagine that you're thinking." This phrasing gives them an easy way out if you are wrong. Actually, it's more like, "So there's no risk involved." But when you are right, the impact is immense. You cease to be just another person they are talking to and become a trusted confidant who truly gets them. We have journeyed through the architecture of influence, from grabbing attention with the pledge, to building an emotional world with the turn, and finally to achieving your goal with the prestige. We've explored the importance of understanding another's world, the power of storytelling, and the subtle arts of anchoring and mirroring. These are not dark arts or manipulative tricks. They are tools for better, more empathetic, and more effective communication. The magic is not in the techniques themselves, but in the connection they allow you to build with another human being. But knowing them is not enough. The real secret is practice. You cannot become a master pianist by simply reading a book about music. You must sit down at the piano every day and let your fingers dance across the keys. It is the same with these skills. Start small. Choose one idea from our discussion today and focus on it. For the next week, make it your mission to become a better listener. In every conversation, challenge yourself to understand the other person's world before you try to express your own. Just this one change will have a profound impact on the quality of your interactions and relationships. You will be amazed at what you learn. Then, in the following week, you might decide to practice telling small stories. Instead of just giving information, think of a short, relevant anecdote that can bring your point to life. Notice how it changes the energy of the conversation. The week after that, you could practice offering false choices when making arrangements. Coffee or tea, morning or afternoon. Pay attention to how this simple shift can make interactions smoother and more agreeable for everyone. Each technique is a small tool. By practicing them one by one, you slowly and steadily build your toolkit until using them becomes second nature. This is a journey of 1,000 small steps, not one giant leap. Be patient with yourself. Be curious. Be playful. The goal is not to become a perfect, persuasive machine, but to become a more aware, more connected, and more positive force in the lives of those around you. By learning to wield the magic of words with care and intention, you don't just change your conversations, you begin to change your world. You build stronger friendships, more successful collaborations, and deeper relationships. You unlock the ability not just to be heard, but to be felt. And that truly is the most wonderful magic of all.